unmuted myself, wouldn't it? Unmuting self would probably be a good plan. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Sarcastic Barman, and welcome back to another of, I think we're going to call these ones Hope to See You Next Tuesday, because the way things are going, it's just getting scarier and scarier, though some things at least have made me laugh this week. We'll probably get to them in a bit. Joining us the same as Thursday is the one and awesome, one and only Clapperjack and Mr. M. So we'll take any questions you've got in the side, and we'll go through chatting about the things that we've seen for the week and what we think we need to talk about. I'll have a quick bit of housekeeping first, though. And the first one, got to go out to Daybreak of Flint. Thank you very much for the bar of chocolate you sent me and the awesome picture of an awesome fluffy dragon. That is amazing, dude. Thank you very much. Hello to everyone else. Conspiracy Cats, Crafty, Charlie, Fact I've seen you, L Teams, who's giving you praises before Clapperjack. So I think tonight's going to be a good stream. Where do we all want to start off at?
I don't know, really.
Well, I think we should start with you, really, Clapperjack, for having the shittest sort of week.
It's been
not involved in everything can have, I think, at the moment.
It's been quite nightmarish. I gotta tell you. First of all, I would like also to say hi to the chat, Crafty and Cats. Very nice to meet you, to join us today. But as for me, things are looking pretty freaking grim right now, because for the past 4 days I've been having panic attacks nonstop, until the point that I actually burned myself out, that I can't feel anything, and that fucks me up even more, because I just every single day I see dead bodies and people freaking out and asking me to tell them what to do, and I don't know what to do. My friends and family are back at home in Belarus, and they're like fleeing, packing their shit, chipping the cats, giving them vaccines to get them through the border. And my grandmother doesn't want to leave because she thinks that the Europeans are the ones that are attacking. And it's just my entire reality is being flipped upside down. The thing is that I've been working for an NFT project, Danger Valley Ducks. That's what they're called. To anyone watching from there, because I shared the link, hi. Their developers are Ukrainians. All of them live in Kiev. I worked for them as a moderator in their Discord channel for not a pretty modest, I would say, salary. We can put it that way. And it's quite frankly not enough to get myself going. So I had some NFTs. I invested. I tried to flip and get some, multiply some money while I was here. I've been only for a month in Poland, and I barely got all of my paperwork and shit done. Get everything to like a microwave into the kitchen, all the supplies, all that shit. Mm-hmm. The moment that I tried, I start seeing all of this thing, the war pretty much starting right in front of my eyes at 5 a.m. on 24th. I realized that if I don't liquidate every single goddamn asset, digital asset like NFTs and cryptos that I have, then I'm not going to be able to pull it out, and I'm going to be stuck completely without any single dollar in my pocket. So I started liquidating. I sold some. I got like $1,400. Bitcoin took 8 hours to convert from one cryptocurrency to another, from Solana to Bitcoin. It took 8 hours because Bitcoin network was completely overloaded, because every single person started, because they were afraid of war and because they were donating to Ukrainians through Bitcoin. It spiked to a point where it was overloaded. It took 8 hours to confirm that transaction. I wasted a whole day trying to convert from one crypto to another. And when I did, today morning, I wake up. The first thing I do, I didn't brush my teeth, didn't wash, didn't do nothing. I jumped to the PC. I open up there's this crypto wallet called Exodus wallet. By the way, great wallet, fantastic stuff. I have several ways to convert crypto into real money. And I decided to go with my Belarusian one. Stupid me. Didn't think this one through. Thought I had time before the sanctions kick in. So I send money to the exchange back home. That exchange took about approximately like 30 minutes to exchange Bitcoin into real money. They sent it to my credit card because I have several back home that still work. I decided that I'm going to receive it on my Belarusian card that has Belarusian rubles, then convert to euros to minimize because the Belarusian ruble is like going up and down because the Russian economy is collapsing, and so is mine because it's tied to it. So I switch the money like that $1,300 to euros to my euro card. I literally run like a fucking sprinter to the nearest ATM. Not gonna lie, legit, was like short of breath when I got there. The moment that I put my card, the moment that I tried to eject, it says that I'm over my limit. I'm like, fuck. I go into my app because I forgot to lift the limits. I lift every single limit to like 9,999,000 whatever on everything. I try to eject. Once, twice, it says like, oh, you don't have enough money for the conversion. I lower it, I go lower. And eventually it just says transaction forbidden. I'm like, fuck me. I jump into a taxi. I drive to another ATM, then another, then another, then another. All of them either don't have money at all. Some of them just straight up told me to go fuck myself because they're not servicing my card. And then I just realized that I'm completely screwed. Mm-hmm. I started calling the bank. I started talking with them. The woman that was like assigned to me as my rep, she just told me like complete another bullshit that, oh, you have like limits per day, even though those limits were never there before. And I'm like, okay, so why can't I send money to, let's say, my dad within the country to his card? He's also a holder of your like card in your bank, same bank. They're like, oh, well, maybe it's because you're sending from one currency to another. I'm like, okay, so I'm going to send back to my Belarusian card with Belarusian rubles. I try that. I get told to go fuck myself. Transaction forbidden. I'm like, great. So I run to the store. I think to myself, okay, if they want to fuck me this way, I can fuck them back. I'm going to just go to the store, buy something that's worth like $1,300. And then I'm going to resell it instantly on secondary somewhere on like as a brand new thing. Guess what? Transaction forbidden. I'm like, great, that's fantastic. Try sending it to my Polish card. Also, transaction forbidden. Go fuck myself. And that's kind of the story. So like, I'm short of breath. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I'm like, the only thing I'm happy about is that I'm like emotionally drained entirely, so I can't lose my mind.
You can't get any crazy.
That's how my day went. Yeah. How about you?
Mine's been all right. I got nothing compared to yours. I will say there is obviously a pinned message in chat. That is Clapperjack's PayPal. If anyone can lend him a hand, feel free. It's all there. But there we go. Perfect. Ugly German Truce would point. I was just about to point up. The Belarusian banks have also been thrown out of SWIFT, and I think, this is the thing that we're actually going to get to. Is the people who are going to be affected by this are people like yourself, Clapperjack, the general sort of public. It's not going to be hitting the multi-billionaires. It's a pain in the ass that other restrictions aren't going to change their opinion because they've already got all their money moved, hidden, changed currencies, and
they probably did it in advance. Barman, sorry to interrupt. I sent you the examples of ATMs that I actually like. I took pictures. I took pictures of what like some of them, how they were like telling me, "Oh, no money. Oh, go fuck yourself. We were not going to service your card."
I'll get
all that stuff. The most disappointing one was Polish Bank of Poland, because that's the card that I have, and they were like super nice to me, and it was working like flawlessly before. And now they just, the moment that I put the card in, it just told me, go fuck yourself. And I was like, nice, fantastic. That just made my day. Thank you.
It's gonna fuck everyone over, isn't it? So
well, yeah.
as the restrictions go, does anyone think these restrictions, that's far too big? Does anyone think these restrictions are going to affect anyone apart from people like you?
Well, I mean, the oligarchs, they usually do keep their monies abroad. You know, that's why there's a lot of talk about Londongrad.
Yeah, it's very true.
All of the rich motherfuckers, they love London, especially Russians. They buy multi-million-dollar mansions in there. They keep their kids. They send them to Yale and Oxford's.
Yep.
And all of the money that they use to do that is fucking stolen.
Yep,
Because
they just launched. Sorry, carry on.
No. Go on. You wanted to say something.
I was just about to say, basically, London's the biggest money laundering, one of the biggest money laundering centres in the world. These people, they buy British property, rent it out to British people, and basically then put that money into British banks.
Yep.
So it doesn't really affect them. And then they
don't care.
Yep, they've got money in all sorts, ETFs, you name it, all across the world, in different currencies, the United States, Swiss franc, euro, you name it, they've got it. And so if you're stuck in Belarus or Russia, then yeah, you're screwed.
Yeah, about that. Like for 2 years in advance. I'm not sure if I told like on the past stream or not. My brain is all over the place. I'm losing like track of everything, literally. Like reality is becoming more of a blur than anything else. So my parents, my friends, for 2 years in a row, once this whole thing, protests in Belarus started, I foreseen that Putin is gonna do all of this, that Lukashenko is gonna leech to him, and that they are both gonna go on their like what's it called? What's that, the crusade? They're gonna go on a crusade campaign, whatever, to save the poor Ukrainian people from the Nazis, whatever. And that's why like I immediately started packing my shit and like gathering money and all of the stuff to get the fuck out of there. And once I was doing that, people were telling me that I'm crazy, that I'm paranoid, that I'm like wasting my time, that nobody's waiting for you there. That quote, that's a quote. And you can't run from yourself. Also a quote that people been telling me, multiple. Well, guess what? Now the Lukashenko is going to start mobilizing everybody who's age 18 to 60, including my dad, including my friends and family, close the borders. And then they're going to go on military exercises, quote unquote, on March 8th, I believe, was the rumor, but I'm not sure. It could be earlier, it could be later. I don't know. It's all word of mouth because official news is dead to me.
What do you think he'll do next, Crackerjack?
Well, I have some assets that I still can sell. Like I have 2 video cards, GTX 1060s, that are worth $300 right now. I'm using them for mining, and the third one is a GTX 1080 that I'm going to keep because I need a video card to work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to probably sell those here real quick and get enough money to actually pay for rent, because rent is pretty expensive in my apartment. Not as expensive as like anywhere else, but for me it's expensive because then I need to probably start doing something to generate money continuously. I should have probably done that earlier because I never expected this to happen. I was taking it slow. I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna get my stuff done here and there, and then I'm gonna start slowly ramping myself up, and I relied too much on that, and now I'm fucked.
I think the whole situation did come as a bit of a shock to everyone. How quick
it was rather rapid.
Yeah, just had one from Ugly Jim Truce. Did you hear this? Anonymous trolls Putin by renaming yacht "Fuck Putin" and send it to hell by hacking maritime data.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Quite funny. That is quite funny. For some of the funny things we've seen this week, because I think we need to laugh at a few things, because
definitely
before we talk about some of the more scary things we've seen this week. Has everyone seen the videos of Russian tanks being towed by tractors? Do we have
that was
sources?
pretty funny.
Yes.
I've seen one as a tank on a country road. I've also seen one as a surface-to-air launcher being towed through a town. So I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's funny because like as scary as Russia attacking and the Russians coming in, they are entirely incompetent as it turned out. Their scary military turns out to be a bunch of incompetent morons.
Mm-hmm. It is quite surprising. I mean, I know we want to say, yeah, Russia, one of the second best military sort of thing in the world, size-wise. They have got some good equipment. They've got a lot of old equipment, but they have got some new stuff as well. But for how much the Ukrainian forces are holding them back, it is surprising, shall we say. And if they'd had a bit of air superiority at the moment, the Ukrainians, I could see that giant convoy that's going on, about this 30-mile long convoy, would be getting the shit ripped out of it at the moment.
Yeah, if the Ukrainians had decent joint fires and effect, that wouldn't be there right now, unless that's maybe part of their strategy and they want to strike it further into Kiev to actually potentially further blockade the roads into Kiev. I don't know.
The first 2 or 3.
Yeah, let them come in and then cut them off. Essentially, you're choosing your ground and where you want to fight, but it's classic ambush tactic.
Here's one for Russian militariness. The Russian military ham radio station got hacked twice in the last week, and the first time they played the Ukrainian Eurovision song on it, and the second time they played pig squeals. Daybreaker Flint, I need a source for that, because if that is true, that is fucking hilarious. But I suppose, really, as all the fun stuff goes, we do need to talk about the slightly serious bits. Cluster bombs.
Vacuum bombs too.
The vacuum bombs as well, yeah. What was the name for it? Mr. M, the name for the vacuum bombs, like I've fucking forgotten it.
I'll have to go.
Like out of Star Trek.
Two secs. Let me just go. I'll tell you in the next minute or so.
I'll reach it because I've got it on a thing somewhere.
Oh, great! Where did I send this?
Someone in chat might beat the suit. You never know.
Yeah. It may not be the case that it was used because it may have been thermobaric. There you go.
That's right, yes. Oh,
so,
go on.
Yeah, so thermobaric essentially it's actually detonated just above the ground, and it sucks out all the air from that particular location to cause huge amounts of devastation. We're not talking nukes or anything like that, but
no.
It can cause, it can pretty much level a kilometre square if used to full effect. I
think the one I saw, which is if you have a 7-ton explosive used like this, it would cause the equivalent of 44 tons worth of TNT and is equivalent to a small tactical nuke. So obviously not nuclear, but just the blast wave and stuff like that. And I was like, wow, that's scary.
Yeah, you can flatten the entire grid square of one of those things quite easily, and they can be fired from a pretty small sort of mobile system that can get around fairly easily if it's not engaged. So yeah, something you don't want to get on the wrong side of.
No. And then as for, because is it? I saw somewhere saying that it is a sort of UN no. I didn't see if it's actually an illegal weapon or anything like that, but someone saying, oh, they shouldn't be using those. Can you expand any more on that? Or
it's not for me to say really, but it's not something that's used day to day conventionally for sure. I don't know when the last time one of those was used. I probably would imagine those sort of things would have been used later on in the Chechen campaign. I don't know, but that's when you look at the damage that was inflicted in that scenario, it seems highly likely because entire areas of Grozny were completely flattened.
Wow.
Yep, they destroyed Chechnya.
Yeah.
And yeah, pretty bad. And that's my biggest concern at the moment. Is if I really don't want Kiev to turn into the next Grozny.
No, you sent me the link for it, and I had this thing in my head thinking that sounds familiar, and I had to Google it. I was like, wow. So as I went through the population before everything kicked off, they had a population of around 320, 340,000.
Yep.
Down to 200,000 and slightly climbing. I was like, whoa, where'd all those people go?
Yeah, it's horrific.
It's a scary thing. Oh, here we go. We've got a bit on the cluster bombs. There is an international treaty against so-called cluster munition bombs. And the US never signed it and still uses it themselves. That's a fair guess on that one. But yeah, because obviously we've seen clips of them using cluster bombs as well. I will be fair. I have to be fair because I'm not there and can't comment directly.
No, none of us can.
Cluster bombs, yeah. But it does seem the sort of effect of dozens of small explosions going off.
Yeah, but the whole thing with cluster bombs is you can't fix a target or a strike with cluster bombs because once the first one's gone off, you're in no control of what happens to the spread of it. So, when you create when you fire at something, you're meant to look at proportionality. If by targeting this location, are civilians going to get hurt? Yes, no. It's pretty simple, but obviously as things escalate, people take more risks, they make mistakes, and that's when people get killed, unfortunately.
Yeah. They're not in a total war sort of situation where they are got to do everything they can to sort of win. They're a large country invading a small country, basically, because, well, let's look clearly. Ukraine have a lot of resources. This isn't a war about NATO or anything like that. This is the fact that Ukraine's got the second most natural gas and things in all of Europe, the 14th largest supplies in all of the world, all still under the ground, fresh to be tapped, the third highest amount of titanium, neon gas, all the stuff that's going to be needed for the 21st century.
Precious metals, you name it, it's all there.
Yeah. Uranium, the works. This is what the war definitely seems to be about. I saw a video earlier today, and it was that sort of heartbreaking one that I almost thought about pulling up. But again, without a source, I don't want to be relaying something without proper sources. And it was a Ukrainian politician who was relaying text messages that they said they'd found on a phone. And it was the Russian soldiers texting his mum saying, "Are you on exercise?" He said, "No, we're in Ukraine. And we can't believe we thought they were going to be welcoming us, and they're fighting back at us." Unfortunately, the soldier is dead or told to be dead. And it was one of those ones that messages between him and his mum, and how it seems to be, and from other sources as well, that it seems to be that the Russian troops do think they were going in to liberate and all this cack, and no.
Yeah, I mean, we've got to be very careful with misinformation. What we say, we have to be true to our own sources, and not.
Oh, there's a lot of fakes going around. There's a lot of fakes. The Russians are trying to spread misinformation. For example, today there was a post on one of my Belarusian chats like, "Oh my God, Ukrainians are gonna try to counterattack the planes that are taking off from Belarus," and later Ukrainian info sources came out and no, that's bullshit. We would never do that because Belarusians and Lukashenko are not the same. And even though that they're sending their troops from Belarus, we're not gonna fucking shoot because we're not savage as them. Because civilians.
Yeah. We've got with all these communities going on a comment from DKG Customs. If Putin is accused of war crimes, when could he be arrested?
I don't think he will be.
Got to get to him first.
that's the thing, isn't it? You got to get to him. He's got to basically be out of power. There was a little bit of talk on what day are we on now? We're on Tuesday, so it'd be Sunday morning on the BBC. What would be the chances of basically the oligarchs turning against him and taking the power away from him? And I don't think that they ever will, because I think they're a bit scared of him.
Well, they are. And he's also scared right now, because if you look at the video that of a recent meeting of him and his top dogs, let's put it that way, the way that he was speaking and the way that he was acting, his mimicry of his face, I saw him. He was scared. He was shitting himself because he finally realized that he had fucked up. He never expected the Europeans and Westerners to react in the way that they did, cutting them off from literally everything, their economy tanking, everything. He thought that you're just going to swallow this shit and it's going to be 2014 all over again.
Yeah. And it's been a very much different response to the 2014 response to Crimea, really, hasn't it? As Crafty pointed out earlier, I'll just grab that comment as well. The Crimean War was about taking 70% of Ukrainians' offshore gas resources. And yep, this is what it all comes down to. But unfortunately for us, Putin doesn't seem to be wanting to back down. What does everyone make of his remarks that that America needs to get their missiles and their nukes out of places like Germany, when he himself is on high alert for nukes?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. How about you suck my balls, you fucking bald freak?
Oh, I'm going to have to find that picture because that was a great one. You two chat for a moment. I shall sort this picture out because it's got to come up.
Yeah, I mean, we live in the mad world, don't we? Let's be honest.
Oh, it's became a fucking cartoon. 100%.
Yeah.
I've seen a video today of my military guys just reciting fucking poetry about how they're not going anywhere and that they are not abroad, and they're just their mommies should be fucking sleeping well, that they're not going to war abroad. I'm like, what the fuck? What's happening? Where am I?
I feel is
this Alice in Wonderland?
I mean, we live in a chaotic world. Interesting that the Prime Minister today was in the Baltic states.
I saw the interview, the reporter from Poland just basically giving him the shit this morning. I was like, fair play. I ain't going to argue with that, because it was everything that needed to be said, really. Right, let me just get this picture up, because you can also
see what happened. Oh yeah, I love that one. That's a great meme.
I thought it was great. There's a few of these ones flowing about at the moment. One of my favorite ones is a guy sat on some benches and he's writing the Ukrainian surrender terms and just says, "Suck my dick." I was like, fucking perfect. So yeah, this morning at a interview, there was was she Ukrainian reporter, and they were in Poland.
Yes.
Just asking basically Britain to do more. Why are you sound about not doing more? Why are you not doing this? Why are you not doing that? And to Boris, he kept his calm. He tried to answer as best he can. I mean, I don't particularly like Boris, but
no, I'm the same.
He's a bit of a weird man.
He's a very weird man. I wouldn't want to be in any of their positions at the moment. I mean, I'm quite glad I wasn't.
No, it really is a tinderbox at the moment, isn't it? A cinderbox. What's the term I'm looking for?
Tinderbox is good.
Shit, I know what you mean, but I can't find the word either.
Yeah, so
the set expression.
Walking into a room full of dynamite and lighting a cigarette is probably the other analogy I would use. You don't want to be that. You don't want to be that idiot that drops it on the floor and sets the whole building aflame. Only the whole building is Europe in this case, or the rest of the world.
Yeah. Does anyone see a way of Russia recovering politically from this at all, or as Russia goes as an international world stage country that people can look to for anything?
Not with Putin at the helm, definitely not. I
It's
think
not
Russia
only
can,
about him.
I think Russia can get over it because I think Russia still has a lot to offer the world, but I think with him at the helm, definitely not. So I'm kind of 50-50 on that at the moment.
Which is fair enough.
See, it's not about really more Putin. It's more about the people, because Russian people. I'm going to like tell you some things that I probably shouldn't. But on my server, when I was like modding, we have a subsection for Russians, and while my guys were literally being bombed, they were continuously asking, "Yo, hey, so there's like staking of our NFTs, and we're like supposed to be paid for it. Like, when's that gonna happen? Like, you promised us to release a game and you didn't. Like, are you scamming us?" I'm like, guys, are you quite here right now? Because
Gee.
have you looked outside? Have you turned on the TV? Or like what? We don't have time for that. They're being bombed right now. They can't. They might actually die. And they're like, you're just like bullshitting us and whatever. It's all fake news. And I'm like, wow, this is great. I love this. So I had to like mitigate that and stuff. And then there was like Ukrainians started like arguing with them, and it was a shit show. I had to stop the entire server.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I have seen a lot of fake news claims on this that's just made mind go the actual facts. One reason why I can't get words out tonight. I saw one that was claiming that it's not Russia doing the shelling of the military base where the 70 people died. That was UN artillery, apparently.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And it was in full seriousness.
Just straight out lies.
Basically, yeah. I saw one that was, this is all just a cover up for COVID. Now that COVID sort of died down, the world needs something else. I'm like, really?
Oh, yeah. Speaking of that, Barman, I can actually pull up a tweet for you that, speaking of crazy, like since we're talking crazy, might as well, gotta entertain people somehow. Give me a moment.
No worries.
Open Twitter for that.
That's fine. Yeah, but I saw that one. The other one was claiming obviously about COVID. One that was claiming that is anything actually being bombed? Is there any nuclear weapons that we should be worried about? Which then led the person to say, "Oh, I'm questioning everything now. Maybe Hiroshima was just normal weapons." I'm like, "Wow, this is."
Catch, Barman.
Oh, grabbing now.
So I've been browsing through Twitter because I was actually like, this is like the main source of information for me, and the Telegram channels. And on occasion, you see a crazy fuck that somehow still finds a way to like simp for Russia while all of this shit is happening. And when I saw that, I was like, are you well? Are you feeling all right?
It is a hell of a picture. I'm just trying to get it. Saved. No, why won't it let me save it? Oh, do I need to load the actual tweet? That'll probably be why, won't it?
Yeah, probably would be easier.
Images. Except Twitter saves images in.
Apple Pay no longer works in Russia. Just in.
I saw. What else did I see for Russia not basically working anymore? They've got rid of. Well, basically, no delivery companies working there. They've all shut down. Stop selling electronics are basically gone. They've all shut down because obviously their money is worth nothing.
Yep.
Which is, again, only going to hurt one set of people, and it's not going to be the people they want to hurt. Right.
But that's just going to surely, the average Russians then going to turn against the West if that, that carries on. I don't know.
I could see that happening. They're just going to.
Putin can spin that then. I don't know. Maybe I'm clutching at straws here, guys. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they're going to get pissed off. They're going to go, maybe we should actually listen to our noble leader and fight for him.
Mm-hmm.
It could go either way.
Yeah.
Is this what you wanted, Clapper?
Yeah, it's this one, but the actual like tweet that the guy said is the main point, to be honest.
I can get the tweet up as well. I'll just hide
because
that.
Some motherfuckers out there, they are so goddamn twisted. While like seeing dead bodies, they somehow like go like I also been in the crypto I have two Twitter accounts, one political, one crypto, and because I need to speak for my community in the crypto thing, and they asked me to do it, and in there I follow a lot of people in crypto, and they organized a hangout. What's it called? Meets.
Meets.
I
Yeah.
jump in, and I hear the most idiotic things from Americans. They're like, "Oh man, it's all NATO's fault and America's, and it's probably the deep state and the Illuminati's." And I just I couldn't resist. I jumped in and I'm like, "Bruh, shut your ass up, you spoiled bitch. You know nothing. Shut the fuck up. This whole jet fuel doesn't melt steel beams shit is not gonna fly here. Shut up. You know nothing."
I've got the one here. Putin is not alone fighting the New World Order. I stand behind #Putin war criminal. Says a resident of state who has sponsored violence in these many civilized nations. Really now.
Yep. Some people are twisted like that.
It makes you wonder what goes through people's heads that they come out with these things. Because you can't be right in the head to be thinking that all this is right. Yes, I can understand questioning media and source and things like that, which is why we're not really bringing up any videos and clips and things here unless we can be 100% certain on the source, which is fine. But fair play to the BBC. Almost every clip they've played, they've said, yeah, we've either verified the source or no, we haven't. And at least they're giving you some clear indication. It can still be a pain in the ass sometimes, but you've got to have that thing. Take it with a pinch of salt. Whereas these nut jobs, Telegram at the moment is a shithole.
I've stayed off it this week. I can't deal with it.
There's so much information and misinformation, and sifting through it is quite hard.
Mm-hmm.
At the moment, I feel safe in my four walls, and I'm happy there.
Oh yeah, it's way easier just to shut everything off, and it's bad, I know, but that's the only way to keep your sanity from imploding.
I'm quite happy at the moment that I'm relatively close to a SAS base, so at least if everything does go to shit, I'll hopefully die quickly.
Just on the other side of the river.
Basically, yeah.
I've been actually
Literally.
You guys are being ironic a little bit, but I've actually contemplated this whole thing, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, so if one ICBM goes up, we're fucked, because the way that all of these things work, if one goes up, all of them go up.
Yeah.
And if all of them go up, it's pretty much Fallout 4, the best scenario, the most best scenario. And I was thinking to myself, am I ready for Fallout 4? I don't think I am. So I think I'm just going to accept it and just do nothing. Not even going to get out of the apartment. Fuck it.
I've got a contingency plan for the children, which sounds crazy, but I've already got one in my head, and I've spoken to my partner about it, and she agrees. But it's purely down to geographical locations. It's something I've worked. Sorry?
Are you going to eat them?
No, not at all.
Fair enough.
Just basically to try and I've looked at a map and gone what is strategic here and what isn't, and where have I got people I know who I trust with my life or their lives, who would where they could hanker down, and that's essentially it. That's all you can do in that situation.
Yeah. This is times I miss being. Oh, go on.
It's rather grim.
It really is.
I would suggest people to have a plan B if you're gonna. I'm not gonna. I don't care. I stopped caring anymore.
The plan B protects them. It doesn't protect me, unfortunately.
Fair enough. No, but these are the times I miss being up in North Wales, because where we were, there was nothing near me in Porthmadog. So well, at least I'm all right there. There's plenty of hills. I can eat radioactive sheep. Yeah, it's fine. The worst thing was probably on Anglesey with the nuclear plant there. At least the one that I live near was decommissioned, so they're not going to be bombing that. It'd be a waste of a bomb.
They're probably gonna shoot for large cities first.
Yeah, you've got Liverpool's not far away, and then you've got fast air can fly from Oria Valley and Mona.
So you gotta remember
strategically a target.
even if you're far away, even if you're not like within the reach of the blast, the air is gonna get fucked. The
Oh,
whole
yeah.
the whole climate is gonna be shut on entirely.
Nuclear
So
winter for the next 18
how
months.
the fuck people are gonna breathe is beyond me. Probably just gonna fucking melt our lungs,
Yeah.
like within a couple of weeks, without
Yeah,
any
I don't-
protection.
I
I'm
think
not a nuclear expert. I do know of two actually, but I might speak to them.
Yeah, I was going to say I think 18 months, Mr. M, might be a bit nice for a nuclear winter.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the actual fallout once it hits the ground and how long it's radioactive for. I'm talking about how long this shit's in the sky for, and it blocks out the sun and
Yeah.
affects the climate. You know, I don't know. We've never been in that situation before, so I don't think anybody can give us the answer there.
No, I mean the closest we got was obviously Chernobyl. I know from speaking to people that one of our regulars was working in a nuclear plant at the time, and their monitors went off because of the fallout from Ukraine. That it set the monitors off in the ones here, and they shit themselves for the first 24 hours because they thought, "Crap, what's happened? We're all going to die," thinking it was something wrong with their plant to start with, before finding out, oh no, it's not us. Because obviously everything went into panic mode and they just buckled down to think, what can we do? No one was allowed out. It's like, oh, that is scary.
Yeah, it's pretty scary and grim thought, and we try not to think about it, but you know, it is very much on the. It should be on the back of everybody's minds. You know, the so what could happen if people do get start doing stupid things.
Mm-hmm. I mean, touch wood, we're not going to get to that stage because that's definitely your worst case scenario thing, isn't it? I think even if it went to the stage of a World War III, it's not even going to be any country's first response of, oh, let's end it quickly and nuke, because everyone knows it's a mad tactic. The only people who win are, well, maybe people in Australia, South America.
Ironically enough, about Australia, like I had a friend that his name was Bailey. I mean, he's still alive, right? Don't get me wrong. He was in Belarus with his wife. He came and he was like, "Oh my god, like, fucking Australia is so shit. They're like their COVID stuff. They're like Nazi and they're like fucking us. They're COVID camps and whatever." He was pretty up there. Like Belarus is fantastic, bro. Like you don't care. You don't have any of those lockdowns and stuff. I'm like, bro, Bailey, my G, listen. Yeah, probably that's a good thing for you. But the other part of the equation is quite worse compared to your country. So you probably should, scoot back home as fast as you can, because it's gonna be pretty fucking bad. He didn't listen to me back then. Now he like texts me in Telegram. He's like, bruh, I barely managed to get the fuck out of there to Turkey. And I'm like, well done, congratulations. But he left his wife behind, so I don't fucking know why. She is supposed to leave on the 4th, and I'm not sure if the borders are going to be open back at that point.
Who knows?
Just a couple of quick ones from chat. Nimrod, yes, that is Clapperjack. DKG Custom, can we talk about puppies and kittens? We might do in a bit. We might find some more funny stuff to talk about.
We probably need to
find some other bits. We do also have to look at the reason, well, not the reason, the wording behind Putin's claims of, I have to go in, self-defense, Nazisms, and blah, 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 considering that Russia signed a treaty in 1994 never to attack or do anything with the sovereign nature of the Ukraine.
The rules are out of the window at this point. They don't care about any rules.
No.
They don't care about diplomacy. Well, diplomacy. They don't care about rules. Nothing.
Yeah.
Democracy. What's
democracy? It's great. That's a lovely word. I'm gonna have to use that in something. Just so someone looks at me when like, are you drunk? Yes, I am. But yeah, for a country like Russia to be moaning about people's democracy and voting bits like that. I mean, isn't the presidentship of Russia in the constitution that they're only supposed to be there for 8 years, or is that
He not a lot of people know, but he overwritten the constitution.
Yeah, he basically he jumped from post to post initially, but was basically acting as head of state, whatever you want to call it. And then he about 4 or 5 years ago, or maybe even a little bit longer ago, he basically just tore up the rule book and changed the constitution, so he can basically do what the hell he likes. Russia is essentially a modern day dictatorship.
I was going to say he's just a dictator.
It's the help me out here. What was Russia before Soviet Union? What was it called?
United Soviet Republic States, essentially.
No. Going way back when there was czars and shit. Russian Empire, yeah.
Oh, you had the czars, so you basically had the Russian royal family.
So he wants to be that.
Okay.
I can see that.
Vladimir the Gatherer of Lands.
Yeah, he's not doing a very good job so far.
He's not. I mean, he got Crimea. He threatened Finland before the start of the Ukrainian invasion, which had the opposite sort of effect on Finland because, again, it pushed them closer towards NATO. I mean, all this is doing is pushing NATO closer to each other. But more importantly, by the way the European Parliament and things seems to be going, I could see this down the road leading to more of a European military, which has been talked about a lot before. There have been some little bits towards, but never anything solid. And I could see that coming together as a more of a European bloc, and that's all it's going to do is drive Europe closer.
I already think it's in that state now, to be honest, when you look at NATO and how many countries within Europe are part of it. Just because a country isn't in NATO doesn't mean they can't exercise with NATO.
Yeah, true.
See, it's very important for you right now to huddle together and actually unify completely. Because if you don't, he's just gonna try picking you up off one by one, like he said he was gonna do with Finland and Sweden when they said that they're gonna join NATO. He's we're gonna have a military response to that if you do.
Yeah, but
what?
I mean, somebody
Who the fuck
did that.
Are you?
Somebody did that in 1938, and yeah, I mean, it worked a couple of times, but by the third or fourth time, people got wind to it, and yeah, we all know what happened next.
Yeah.
Alsace-Lorraine, Sudetenland, joining with Austria, taking the rest of Czechoslovakia. Yeah,
Yep.
fourth time. Poland was the last straw, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Upper Silesia, all that shit.
Yeah. So I think people are very, very into that game, or at least I hope they are. You know, you can all well push into Ukraine, but the Ukrainians are doing a sterling job of holding them off at the moment. It's still
those guys are mad.
Like I said the other day, it's still massively early days. Yeah, you know, this is a marathon, not a sprint, and any general or well qualified military personnel from any country in the world would say exactly the same thing. You know, if you go into history, I mean, it took Hitler 6-7 weeks to take over Poland properly, with actually, ironically, with the help of Russia at the time.
Half each.
Yeah, half each. So yeah, this is still very much early days. You know, we'll see where it goes.
Well, hopefully it's not going to go to World War III, because that's the thing that I'm worried about the most. Because if it's going to go to World War III, not nuclear war, by the way, I mean, because I've heard that Europeans are going to store their jets here in Poland.
Yeah.
And if that shit is going to happen and we're going to go, then I guess I'm not going to have any other choice than to join, because fucking pieces of shit ruined my life. Like they stole my money, they ruined my life, and the only thing that right now I have is revenge.
Yeah, you've got a bit of some tough choices they're going to unfortunately put on you, I suppose, given your circumstances.
Because,
I have-
look at this. Like 30 years of my life, I've spent in that shithole I call home, and they fucked me there, like through and through with this ex-Soviet bullshit, where they force you to go to the army, where if you go to the army and you like do your thing and get out, you lose like a year and a half or two, and when you get out, nobody's hiring you for a proper job, only like delivery boys and other bullshit. And during that time, after like getting out of school or universities, you don't have time to develop as a person or figure yourself out who you are. What do you want to do? You don't even get a choice like that. And once you actually figure yourself out and leave and try to live in a normal country where normal people live, with where they have jobs, where they have salaries, vacations, all that shit, this crap happens.
Mhm. The last 2 years have been nuts, and it just seems to be getting crazier. So, as people say, is it the end times? I hope not.
Hope not.
Yeah.
I think we need to switch to something more positive. I'm kind of exhausted.
Yeah,
here.
sorry, buddy.
Yeah. Oh, well, we always laugh at people who think the earth is flat.
Yeah, let's do those.
I was going to say, I don't know if you know, I did that, Mr. M. I do a lot of looking at stupid people who think the earth is flat, or stupid people who think the earth is only 6,000 years old.
Okay.
Dumbasses.
The Earth will be here a lot longer than after we're gone, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully, those people are not going to survive the war and tell the tale like, oh, the earth is actually flat.
Well,
There were all of these heretics and we won.
the thing is, when somebody says to you, "Oh, the Earth's flat," just explain them why do we have projection systems on maps, and then they soon go, "Oh, okay."
Oh, they
Or
don't
why
know.
the shadow on the moon is like round-ish.
Yeah, it's just because you have to, otherwise, yeah.
That all just confuses them.
And then tell them to look at flight paths. There's another one. That's another way to explain it to them.
That's great. But then they say, "Oh, why do all northern flight paths go over like towards Antarctica and things in a straight line?" Because they don't like looking at southern flight paths, because southern flight paths just fuck them over. Perfect.
Yeah.
Dr. Osiris, for your information, the Earth is not flat or wound, it's thick. That's sarcastic, Palmer. Thank you very much for that one.
Dodecahedron Earth all the way, my baby.
I want a Lego Earth. I really do want to buy one of those Lego Earths. But then I suppose I want the Lego ISS first. One day I'll buy them.
And those things are expensive. I actually saw one in the store and I was like tempted, but fuck.
Yeah, one of my friends for Christmas looking at getting her partner a Millennium Falcon, or the big Lego ones. She showed me the price. I was like, oh, if you've got the money, yes, but at the same point, he's going to kill you for spending that much money.
Yeah.
And I showed off one of the fake ones, which was the same size. It's still used. I can't do quotes on the thingy, but quotes Lego. So the fake Lego sort of thing looked really good, half the price. And I was like, I'd just be tempted to get that because I'd be happy with that. Christ.
Interesting point today. Apparently, Lego are donating 1.5 million to the children of Ukraine, which is nice.
That's nice.
Thank you, Lego.
There's
The
been
real
a-
MVPs.
There's been a lot of charity donation-y bits coming out. Fair play. I think Kenko's donating a load over to the Ukraine as well. Whether that's just for anyone who's on patrols, borders, and things to keep them awake, and they're sending coffee or money, I don't know. So at least we'll make a joke shaped out of that. Oh, what's this? No, nothing thingy yet. But yeah, fair play. The one thing that is coming from this is it is bringing a lot of people together. It is showing a lot of charity. My local village hall up the road from me is doing a collection for parcels and things to send over to Ukraine. So I haven't looked what they're putting in them and things like that, but we'll see if we can knock one together. Whether it's just socks, underwear, food, things to go to like the Polish borders and bits as people are coming over for whatever help they can give them. So, but what have they said now? Almost 700,000 across the border.
Really?
Wow. Yeah.
That's a
So what
lot.
now?
That's
Almost
700,000 IDPs across the border.
What's IDP?
A person who's basically been moved from their home location.
Refugees.
Oh,
Yeah, refugee.
holy shit!
Yeah.
Jesus Christ!
And the news reports over here, Clapper, are expecting they're looking at possibly up to 5 million people are going to leave their homes and things.
Well,
Internally
my
displaced person. There you go. That's the word I was looking for.
my
Yeah.
family alone is like 6, 7 people, cats. So that's just Belarus, and we're not at war even. Fuck, you know what I'm afraid of the most is that we're gonna get like persecuted for this shit, because I already had like a pretty nasty conversation with a taxi driver today, and he was like, "Oh, like you're at fault for all of this," and I'm like, with my broken ass Polish, because I barely know anything, I'm like, "No, bro, like I went to prison while I was fighting fucking Lukashenko, man. So this never happens." And he's like, "Oh, really?" I was like, "Yes, really. Fucking don't blame us ever. We never wanted this."
I do feel sorry for any Russian civilians who have moved, like yourself, from Belarus, that they've moved to either Hungary, Poland, even Ukraine itself, because there's been pictures online of them getting not the nicest sort of response from people, and like they've left Russia for probably the same reasons as we don't want Russia to come to you, because they realize it's fucked.
Yep, exactly. I already heard like in Polish, I've seen in Polish chats people like been saying that should slash like tires and whatever's of Russian cars in Poland and whatever. I'm like, fuck. The truck drivers, yeah, that those are the ones, the guys that actually like barely making enough for a living.
Yeah.
And people were like, fuck him up, and I was like, oh shit.
See, again, no, because they're like, it's affecting you, it's just gonna piss the general Russian public off, and instead of them wanting to distance themselves from Putin, it's going to be, oh, all these twats are being twats to us, so let's be twats back to the twats.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people do. Like a lot of people don't think this through. They need to direct they're in Europe. They can't do shit about what's happening, so they have to take that anger somewhere, and they are going to take it out on Russians that are in Poland, and that is and on me too, because like I said, taxi driver, like I'm so. It's grim. It's very grim. Also, Keela, thank you. I really appreciate you for the thing that you sent me. Like, you have no idea how much it's worth to me.
Yeah, for anyone who missed that at the start and joined us late, there is a pinned comment. All of Clapperjack's money is basically stuck in a bank because SWIFT is no longer a thing.
Belarus was shut down, and I can't fucking eject that money any way.
Nope.
Nothing works. $1,300 just locked because I did a stupid, and I thought that I still had a window before I can eject from crypto to my bank account in Belarus, and then like take it to the ATM, and I fucked up. Basically missed my window by 30 minutes before it got clapped.
Fingers crossed that it won't just end there, and it'll all be back out the bank soon. But
I somehow doubt it, because my estimate when I was leaving my country that this whole like beating your own chest, like, oh my god, I'm fighting like against Europeans. This is my sovereign land. Blah blah blah. Putin is my god. I'm gonna suck his dick. This shit is gonna like, even if all of that shit is gonna go away, it's gonna take us 30 years to rebuild.
Yeah,
the economy, the people, the stores, the infrastructures, all that shit. So I'm not sure. I don't know.
On the plus side, you'll get a lot more, hopefully, European involvement, a lot of European investments, and if everything clears up, and hopefully it clears up soon and nobody else gets majorly hurt, or no more lots and lots of dead people, because obviously we can't say that no more are going to happen. Once the gas starts coming out of Ukraine, it will create future jobs, better economy for the area. I know it's trying to look at the hopeful things for the future. But I think at the moment there's not much else we can do, is there?
Nothing. Can't really do anything. It's all up to them and the Russian elites when they finally realize that they have been duped and that their king is a piece of shit that got them in this shitty ass situation where they're not going to be even be able to eat bread, to buy bread. They're going to fucking whack his ass, I'm pretty sure. But I'm not sure how long it's going to take before it clicks into them because they're rather thick. Not to offend any Russians that hear this, but most of them are. Because otherwise this would never had happened.
Is it them being thick, or is it just the indoctrination over the last?
It's both. It's both.
Fear as well.
Yeah.
But I can't really blame them because like I said before, I believe I'm not sure. I did so many streams with so many different people I forgot what I was saying to whom. Russians are damaged. They never had the pleasure, or not the pleasure, the leisure of having something like the founding fathers, the Constitution that's completely like immovable and unbeatable, can't be changed. That's it. This is the Constitution. This is what we base our society on. Or the Europeans, something like that. Their civilization was constantly riddled with misery and destruction and murder and death, and that's all they know. Starting from the Russian kingdom to the USSR to the modern Russia, that's all they've ever known.
Sure.
And it's going to take them time to get their minds unfucked from that, if ever.
It's a horrible thing to think about. I think we definitely need to call it for the night because it's just been one of those depressing nights. I will say one thing that will hopefully put a smile on everyone's face. Dave Murphy, for anyone who doesn't know who Dave Murphy is, he's a flat earther who drinks his own piss. Went to a vaccination centre, served papers to the people at this vaccination centre, basically telling you're all naughty and blah, 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 and then tried to arrest 5 police officers. So, I think everyone can just giggle at that. For anyone who wants the video on it, I saw it today. It was Simon Dan's Tuesday video. Not that really Simon Dan needs pushing videos from me, but yeah, him and his, what is he now? Almost 500,000 bloody subs. Bastard. But yeah, if you can drink some pee, I suppose the other things you can do. People are asking for kittens. Let me see if we can find something just fun to put on stream before we finish. I did put up the picture of Miss Ukraine, who is at the moment got a gun and is out to go fighting and everything. So that's cool.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, I'll put it back up 1 second.
I've seen Vladimir Zelensky as Captain Ukraine. That was pretty interesting.
I did see that one.
I've not seen that one.
A wee cringe, but I kind of liked it. It has its own like charm to it.
Is that where he's in uniform?
No, he's like full on Captain America suit, and it says like.
I've definitely not seen that one.
Can't remember. It just says Captain Ukraine underneath.
Funny.
Anastasia Lena.
I mean, some of the Russian people I follow on Twitter have said, "Oh, look at her. She probably doesn't know how to use it. It's an airsoft rifle." I was just like, "Wow. Well, that's probably, I don't know. I just thought it was amusing."
You want to take the risk, really, would you?
No, you wouldn't.
It doesn't look like airsoft to me.
No, it doesn't really matter. Something that hurts is going to come out the other end, whatever it is.
Yes. And if you can shoot an airsoft one, I'm sure it's not going to take her much to figure out how to shoot a proper one. So either way, you're fucked. So there's the question of the night. If a person was born deaf, then what language are they thinking?
The one they can read in.
Probably. That's actually a really interesting question. I would assume it's
the one
their
they can
own.
Read in.
Well, they read in English probably. Like I mean, if a person is
Whatever
deaf,
they read in,
they can read.
Yeah,
they can read, and wherever they are born, they probably got to learn how to read that. So, pretty much the same as everybody, I guess.
There we go. Then. Easy.
Yeah.
And Will I
They
get
do
away with this
sign
one?
language at the end of the day, so
You do, yeah. Just end with this one. They'll end the stream when I make it smaller. Goddamn Harley Quinn.
She's laughing at you. She's laughing at you, Barman.
He is. We'll just leave Harley Quinn and the giant tits there. So, on that, it's got words I don't want to put on screen beneath it. So, yeah. But I think that'll do us for the night. We might do another one of these next week. We'll see what developments come. But I think come Thursday,
If we're still here.
If we're still here, yes. Hopefully, we'll see you on the next Tuesday.
Oh, no.
I'll do a nice video for Thursday that we can all laugh at because yeah, we need a break by that one. Yeah, I just feel like depression is going to set in at this point. Thank God I own a pub and have copious amounts of alcohol. Though at the moment, alcohol doesn't sound very appealing because I got far too drunk Saturday night.
At your own bar?
At my own bar with a couple of our regulars after the rugby and things like that. The Jaeger machine was on. We had far too much Jaeger. And yeah, it's just no. Got to be done though.
Yep.
But thank you, Mr. M, for joining me. Clapperjack, thank you for joining me. Once again,
it's been a pleasure.
He's all been stuck. If anyone can help him out, the link is pinned in the chat. That would be lovely. And thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. Who we got? Flint. Oh, hang on. Oh, I'm going to have to put that. The Turtle Moves, Orphan Red as Harley. Oh, if Orphan Red's got a video, I'll do an Orphan Red video because that would be amusing as fuck. Anyway, yes, I was saying good night. Thank you very much, everyone. Good night. See you on the next one. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Any questions for any streams, leave them in the Discord or in the comments below. And if we do another one of these, we'll get onto them. Thank you very much. Good night. Anything else from anyone?
No, good night.
Good night.
Awesome.